Wisconsin's Lake Michigan charter fishing season will soon be underway, and in just a few minutes, Tom Newbauer joins Eric Steinhafel and Captain Ken Poludnianyk for some fast Lake Michigan action aboard the Leader. And then Debbie Wolniak looks at a solar electrical generating system at Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School. But first, Judy Nugent joins DNR biologist Chris Stepanek and volunteer Paul Hayes as they monitor the water quality of a stream in Vernon County. I'm Dan Small, and it's time once again for Outdoor Wisconsin.
Summer to fall, winter to spring, from Green Bay to where the St. Croix sings, from Kettle Moraine to Superior Shore, outdoor Wisconsin, outdoor Wisconsin.
Maintaining water quality in Wisconsin's streams and rivers requires constant attention. Let's join Judy Nugent, along with DNR water quality specialist Chris Stepanek and volunteer landowner Paul Hayes, as they monitor the water quality in a trout stream in Vernon County.
So how do we go about assessing the quality of the river?
What we're doing is we're looking for aquatic macroinvertebrates, which are small organisms without backbones that live in the water, and they're living in the bottom of the stream and in habitat along the edge of the stream. So we're going to use this aquatic D-net to stir up the bottom and collect some insects. We can either kick, or we can rub rocks to dislodge them from their habitat.
Get them out from their hiding spot.
That's right. So we can also use the net to go under the undercut banks where they're living in the grasses and on the edge of the bank there, and just push the net in on the edge. Once we get the insects or the invertebrates, we take a tray and we put a little bit of water in it, and then we just dump the net right into the tray. Let's see what we got. We got a crayfish.
Oh yeah, I see them in there.
All right, we'll take it up on shore and sort through and see what we found.
And that's the caddisfly that makes the kind of the square house.
Yes, this is.
And is it made out of sand or wood, or?
I think they use small pieces of wood. Yes.
Small pieces of wood that they sew together with their silk.
Yes, they spin silk out of their bottom lip, and some of them make cases. It gives them ballast to hang out in moving water.
So what do these critters tell you about the health of the stream?
So different macroinvertebrates need different amounts of oxygen and perfect habitat for them to be able to survive in the water. Certain ones have to have more oxygen. So we've seen a few in here that have adaptations to existing to have more oxygen or get more oxygen. For instance, the stonefly has gills in its armpits, and so in the ice cube tray we might see him doing push-ups to move water across and get more oxygen for himself. Other organisms don't need as much oxygen, so they, in our water quality score, they get less points for being in the stream. So the ones that need a lot of oxygen get high score, ones that don't need a lot of oxygen or have adaptations get a lower score.
All right, so the stonefly gets a high score?
Right.
How many points does he get?
4.
4 points, okay.
Yep.
And if I find 10 of them, I get 40 points?
If you were professional, yes. But because we work with the citizens, what it is presence or absence. So the stoneflies are here, they get 4 points. But even if we found 100 stoneflies, it's still only 4 points. And so the ones such as the mayfly gets 3 points. And so that's still pretty good, but it's not as good as if it was a stonefly. And then you go down from there, 4, 3, 2, or 1 points.
When do I stop adding up points? How does that work?
So basically you just collect, what you're supposed to do is a set time for collecting, and then everything goes into the pan, and then you sort until you feel like you've gotten one of everything. And at that point you identify, figure out your score, and you're done. So it's just a matter of if you think you've gotten all the different types of organisms that are in the pan.
Okay, so I might have 1 stonefly, so 4 points. You said a caddis is 3?
Caddises are 3, mayflies are 3, and damselflies are 3 as well.
A little math.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a nice little sheet that has the pictures, and then you circle them, and then you just have to count the circles, and then you multiply each one by their value.
Right.
And they basically average it out.
Okay. And what do I get in the end?
You get a score between 1 and 3.6, which translates into a water quality score of poor, fair, good, or excellent. But we don't think you can actually get excellent, because a stream that would have good water quality would have a whole variety of organisms. And because we don't count how many of each, then you you actually drag your score down by not weighting how many you've gotten of each different kind.
Okay.
Just because a good water quality stream will have a diversity of organisms. Okay. That makes sense?
Yes.
And for the amateur volunteer, it's a lot easier just to keep track of number of kinds than number of individuals or number of different kinds. And I know that there are other DNR protocols where you can actually count how many mayflies and how many stoneflies and get a more detailed. But this is enough to give you a 4-level kind of view of the quality. This stream, which I've monitored quite a few times, has ranged from a 2.8 to a 3.1 on that scoring level.
And that's good water quality.
And the lowest I've measured in Vernon County was a 1.8. But these are all on trout streams, so that's barely marginal as far as a trout stream at a 1.8.
Yeah.
And how do the streams usually score?
So it goes across the board. So last year in Wisconsin, there was 199 sites monitored by volunteers, and the scores really range from low in the 1.5 or so up to about 3.5 or so.
Right. Well, folks watching think this is really cool and they want to get involved and they want their stream to get scored and all that. How can they get involved?
So every spring we have trainings throughout the state, usually Saturdays in May and April, and they can contact us through our website. It's the Water Action Volunteers Program, and it's watermonitoring.uwex.edu.
Well, it looks like a lot of fun. All the critters in the zoo.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I taught school. The kids just love to do this. They make their own little zoo, and they give them each their names. They make up some silly
Charlie,
names.
and Sean. And
We did it at the Earth Day Fair in April, and all the little kids came along and drew pictures of them.
Chris, what is your official capacity?
I'm the Volunteer Stream Monitoring Program Coordinator for both the Department of Natural Resources and the University of Wisconsin Extension.
So what is the future looking like?
Well, the program has been growing. It has started in 1997 and it's grown every year. We have over 60 local groups who are participating in the program at this point, and they're generating a lot of information, answering questions. Data is being fed into research questions that DNR biologists are looking at, helping us answer if water should be classified as trout waters or otherwise, helping us answer if there are immediate questions, fish kills. Our volunteers have occasionally found where there's been a manure spill or something like that, and we can address the problem immediately. They're also helping us find areas where there are potential issues where we should go out and do more monitoring because something's happening. We don't know what, but we know something is going awry based on the numbers that they're getting. Wisconsin has over 84,000 miles of streams, and those are feeding into our many, many lakes. So we want to make sure that the quality is good for people who are using it recreationally, also for groundwater. There's interaction between the surface and the groundwater. So we want to make sure that these are healthy for fishermen, for people boating, swimming, fishing, whatnot.
Well, I know this area is known for excellent trout fishing, so kind of maintaining that tourism and that recreation.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we've got people in the background here collecting all this kind of data. You do all this stream monitoring. What does the DNR do with the information once they get it?
So we have multiple levels of the program. The educational level is when people are getting their feet wet, literally and figuratively getting their feet wet. They learn about what a watershed is. That's like a bathtub where water from rain will fall down and drain into a single water body. So like here we have the West Fork of the Kickapoo River. They monitor 6 aspects of stream health and learn about what the water quality is in their hometown stream. The data they collect then go into an online database where anybody with web access can see what the results are, and we look at that information for what we call red flags. So is there a problem that needs immediate attention, or over time, what kind of water quality are people finding? And if there's problem areas, then we can step out there with our DNR biologists and look more carefully, get a more focused attention and do more monitoring. And we also have 2 other levels where we have the volunteers who collect data exactly like our DNR biologists do, and that data feeds into a DNR database that is the one that is used by our DNR biologists, and they use that for making management decisions, writing reports about the water quality, the state of the basins is what the reports are. And then we have a 3rd level that's research projects. So if somebody finds a specific problem, they will locally either apply for grants or work with their DNR biologist to address that question and do defined monitoring of that site in that area to answer the question that they have.
That's it. You count the drops it takes to go clear again.
Water quality monitoring wouldn't be possible without the help of volunteers. Judy asked landowner Paul Hayes why he got involved in this project and what he hopes to get out of it.
Paul, as a landowner and a volunteer, you've decided to get involved in water quality testing. Why? There's all the fuzzy bees and birds and fun things. Why water?
Well, water is probably the best indicator of the quality of the environment overall. Everything needs it. I mean, other than air, of course, we all need water. And it's a very sensitive indicator. It's the first thing to tell us when something isn't working so right.
What's the time commitment?
The time commitment with this program through the DNR is once a month on the same day of the month for basically May through October. And for me to do it, it takes me, about an hour to go through the whole thing. Now the first time, it probably took me 3 hours to work out all the details. And this is the citizen scientist, so it's meant for any citizen who has the interest. The materials that are provided are manual and our data sheets and our set of pictures of the invertebrates. Is all provided as part of the program. And then there's the training sessions that we have. Each year there's a training session in the spring, and often you can go to a couple other training sessions there over the course of the summer.
And what do you get out of it?
It's fun.
Yeah?
You get to be outdoors, and in terms of a landowner, you're more connected with your land and the stream, and in terms of a fisherman, you have a much better idea what kind of little critters are in there and what they look like in different stages of the life cycle. So it can be good, interesting science. It's also just good outdoor activity.
Do you have any advice for landowners who might want to join you?
Well, check the website. See what else, what stream monitoring might be going on in their area. I know that a lot of the Trout Unlimited chapters have their own stream monitoring through this program, or other conservation groups like the Valley Stewards Network here in Vernon County, or other conservancy groups around the state.
There are other ways citizens can help monitor habitat and wildlife populations. In this next segment, conservation biologist Lori Pulaski of the DNR gives us a look at one of our common amphibians, the tiger salamander, and tells what you can do to help this species.
Thanks, Dan. This salamander is a tiger salamander. We have 7 species of salamanders in Wisconsin. This is one of the 7, and it's also one of the largest that we have. This species is found throughout most of Wisconsin, and it's typically seen most often in the spring and the fall when it's migrating between its breeding site and the uplands or woodland areas where it spends the summers. And this species is typically found by people a lot of times in their window wells in the spring and summer, especially during rain events or right after rain events, which is the prime time for this species to move. And this species is found in a variety of different types of wetlands along with a lot of other frogs. And it eats a variety of inverts, insects. It can even eat small frogs, anything that it can get into its mouth. This is one of the common species of salamanders that we have in Wisconsin, and its pattern can vary quite a bit. This individual that I'm holding here is a brownish and blackish color, but they can vary between gray, brown, black, and bright yellow as well. This species is often confused with the spotted salamander, which has bright yellow and even orange stripes on the body. Their patterns seem to change as well throughout their lifespan. This species is typically seen when it's crossing the road in the spring and summer during rain events. And one of the best ways you can help this species, especially if you see it crossing the road, is to help it move it off the road in the direction that it was traveling. Salamanders, like a lot of frog species, they're all amphibians. A lot of amphibians are in decline right now because they're so sensitive to pesticides, fertilizers in the environment, any kind of environmental change. So this species, like a lot of the frog species, has been declining in areas where wetlands are disturbed or have been altered quite a bit. One of the best ways people can help this species is to keep areas natural, especially wetlands that are connected to adjacent undisturbed uplands.
Every year we auction off several charter fishing trips at our Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet and the MPTV Great TV auction. Tom Newbauer joined high bidder Eric Steinhafel for an action-packed charter trip out of the Port of Milwaukee with Captain Ken Poludnianyk of Jack's Charter Service.
With me is Eric Steinhafel. His son James is over there, and his friend Daniel. And Eric, you've bought this trip quite a few years at the Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet, and we want to thank you for being a friend. You know, that's pretty cool.
Love to do it.
And you enjoy coming out here, don't you?
Love coming out in Lake Michigan. My dad turned me on when I was about his age.
Is that right?
Took me out and,
now last year we didn't get a lot of time to talk.
No.
No. We had our limit so fast.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That was an excellent year, and your son's really getting into it now.
Yeah. He's quite a fisherman. Take him to Canada. He just loves to fish.
You're going to be at the Outdoor Wisconsin banquet this year again, right?
You bet.
All right, that's great.
Bet.
That's great. We're going to be looking forward to you there.
And Daniel, though, actually, he is I'm in the Big Brothers program, I'd like to mention. And Daniel is, well, they're friends, but Daniel's my little brother.
Is that right?
So,
well,
take him
congratulations.
out.
That's great.
Wanted to get him out and do this. So it's a great organization, and I'd like to be a part of it.
Well, that is great. Excellent. There you go. You're doing fine. Okay, it's close now. It's close.
You got to lift up and back up.
Now lift up.
Lift your rod
Good job.
Up.
Oh, Daniel, that was your first Lake Michigan fish, right? Yeah. What was that like?
Oh, hard and tiring.
Yeah, I know. Hard and tiring. That arm got a real workout, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right, that's a lot of fish, Daniel. Can you smile at least? Oh, yeah.
That wakes you up in the morning,
all right.
Fish on Dipsy. Up.
Oh, you got one, Eric.
All right.
Double
Header, buddy. I
both
think
fighting
mine's
fish
a
at the
little
same
one,
time.
and
That's
yours
pretty
is
cool.
Always the big one. It's going the wrong way.
Uh-oh, it's going over that way. Oh, don't go over there. Come on back here. Come on, you got it. All right. Woo! Good job. Now we'll see if your dad gets his in. All right. That's a beauty.
You got it.
All right. Okay, you got him. Boy, that one was really giving you a fight, Eric.
Yeah.
You didn't want to come in here. How deep of water are we fishing today?
50 feet of water.
50 feet?
Yeah.
Now, mostly salmon this time of year in August?
This is mostly salmon. The other day we had some brown trout and lake trout mixed in with it, but it is mostly king salmon.
Okay, okay. All right. Now you've got, I noticed you've got 3 planer boards out on each side, right?
Right.
And you've got downriggers out. So planer boards and downriggers today.
And 2 dipsy divers.
Oh, and 2 dipsies.
Yep.
So basically you are sweeping this whole area. You got everything going from top to bottom, huh?
Correct.
Oh my goodness, that thing is so far out there.
This could be a big fish, too.
Oh, he's got it coming in now.
It's coming.
He's got it coming in.
Going good. Keep it up.
The second one's easier, isn't it, Daniel? Yeah. Yeah.
Keep going. He's getting close. Keep coming.
Good job. All right, that's a good one.
Oh. Gotta be a monster to mount, huh?
Yep. All right, good job. And I know when we get there to back up.
Okay, lift up.
All right.
Oh, wow. Oh, there's fish flopping all over this boat.
Oh, Daniel, mine's way bigger than yours.
Keep going.
There we go. Lift a pole up. Lift up. Oh, he's got it. All right. You're becoming an expert.
We're going right in the cooler.
James, you've been coming out here for quite a few years with Captain Ken.
This is the second time.
Yeah. How do you think he does as a captain? Pretty good? You always catch fish, don't you?
I'd give him an 8.
Yeah, I'd give him an A too. No doubt about it. You said A, right?
8.
No, we gotta make that.
H.
We gotta make that an A.
We're using lots of copper line now.
I was gonna say
rather
this is a copper line.
It's copper rather than lead core, yeah.
Copper line's got to be expensive.
It is pretty pricey.
Yeah. Now you use that why?
To get the bait down to a certain depth, like lead core, we use 27-pound lead core, and 300 feet will get it down to 45 feet down. So 300 feet of lead core will take the bait down 45 feet or so. You can use 150 feet of 45-pound copper and get down to the same depth. So copper's kind of nice because you don't have to let out as much line, easier for the customer to reel in. There's lots of benefits behind copper rather than lead core.
Okay, Daniel, you're up. Okay, when he's done, you go right up, keep reeling now, real hard, and go forward. There you go, buddy. Good job.
You're doing well, Grasshopper.
That way, keep reeling. Oh, it's a brown trout.
That fish is
yeah, nice brown. Wow. Let's get this one.
Oh.
Keep reeling, buddy. It's a real nice brown trout.
Oh, big
All right,
brown.
we want that trout.
Lift up,
It's a
lift
huge
up, buddy.
one.
Lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up, and walk back.
Oh, yeah.
We get it?
Yeah, that's a real big brown.
You got a big brown.
Hold on, where's my camera? I got to get a picture of that fish. Okay, Daniel, just use it. There you go. Here we go, Daniel. There we go. Ready? Got it. Here we go, Daniel. Beautiful. Got it.
From Lake Michigan out of the Milwaukee Harbor, on the leader with Captain Ken, and we got all this whole group. We want to thank you. This was a great time, guys.
Thanks so much.
We had a great time. Thanks,
Great
Ken.
fishing.
Thank you.
Ken,
That was
great.
And that is one heck of a big trout, too. That's a dandy.
You'll have a chance to bid on a Lake Michigan charter fishing trip in this year's Great TV Auction coming up April 29th through May 8th, so stay tuned for that. Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School in Washington County is a leader in conservation and green energy projects. Last year, Debbie Wolniak visited the school for a look at their latest program, an electrical generating system using solar energy.
We're here in Jackson, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful day with Tom Mellon, who happens to be the Environmental Science Coordinator here at Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School. And we're talking about these solar panels behind us. Tell us more.
Well, photovoltaic is an up-and-coming system, and we happen to have ours on trackers. That means they move with the sun and generate about 30% more electricity than if you just had a fixed panel system.
So how did all the panels get here?
Well, we started writing grants in 2008. In 2009, we did phase one of our photovoltaic project, and that obviously means sun and electricity. And we added 7 more trackers, as we call them, this year, and we're up to 11 total now, and we're producing a lot of electricity for the school. We do have monitors right inside the building behind us, which is our maintenance building. We also have an energy kiosk in the cafeteria that we can see how much energy we're producing on a daily, monthly, yearly basis.
Right. And the cost for this, your return on investment, when do you come to the break-even point?
Well, we probably, if we had to pay for it all ourselves, it probably would take 30 or 40 years. I'm not red-faced about this to say that really we've only invested $20,000 or $21,000. The school's going to do it through a charity auction, actually, and not through the school's actual money. But it's an over $300,000 project so far. It would take many, many years to pay that back, maybe 40. And if a person were going to have to just, use smaller grants on a private basis, we need more government subsidies and grants like that if we're going to make it work on a daily or at least on a homeowner type basis.
Now, what is your vision for the future for this? How long is this going to last?
Well, they're guaranteed for 25, the solar panels. Inside we have things called inverters that convert the direct current that these produce into alternating current. They're not guaranteed for quite that long, but some last that long. And it could go as many as 50 years for the panels out here. So it's unknown, but they are guaranteed for 25 years.
Wow. Are you trying to work yourself off the grid?
Well, I mean, that's an ulterior goal, but as we're only 10% right now, we've got a long way to go. We're trying to reduce our energy usage, and we're trying to add renewables every year that we can.
And the families at the school, are they excited?
I think so. It's got us some publicity. We were kind of on the cutting edge last year. Now a lot of schools and nonprofits are jumping into this year, and but I think us being on the cutting edge of it last year really kind of put us in the forefront, and we're sort of the model that others are looking towards.
Right. And we've been out here before. Even
Right.
on some other projects. This is
Right.
kind of a bigger vision for you, isn't
It is. We sort of have an environmental program here. We have 84 acres in the school, some of which can only be used for environmental purposes. We have 20 acres in environmental classroom. We have a 2-acre site up above where we have our school's wastewater system using wetland plants. And we did that in the early 2000s and added some renewable energy then in 2003. We said, wouldn't that be neat if we could someday add some real robust power as we just done now over the last 2 years using solar.
Yeah. So how is it helping with your class's education?
Well, my students in my small class of 14 divided up into teams of 2, and they went out and taught other students about the theory behind photovoltaic. A couple of them presented at a nature center, so it's gotten our kids into learning the material by being teachers, and next year we're going to advance that into our elementary schools.
So why would you want to do a project like this?
Well, I teach environmental science, and I certainly want my students to be involved, but I also want to let the world know in southeastern Wisconsin here around us that you know, solar power is a possibility in this day and age, and you know, right now it's useful.
I'll be at the Wisconsin Deer and Turkey Expo at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, April 1st through the 3rd. So stop by our booth and say hello, or pick up a ticket for a chance to win a hydrojet-powered canoe by Wilderness Scout. For more information on the expo or this week's features, log on to our website, mptv.org, and follow the prompts to Outdoor Wisconsin. Well, next time, Judy Nugent looks at efforts to monitor Wisconsin's frog species. I'll hunt Canada geese with Brittany Zabrowski and her family, and we'll turn back the clock to 2002 for an underwater look at Lake Michigan. I'm Dan Small. Join us again next week for Outdoor Wisconsin.
Listen to the sounds of the critters of the night, the wind in the leaves and the little river run, coyote brother howling in the full moonlight. Outdoor Wisconsin. Hike, fish, hunt, camp, sail, canoe, ski, photograph, laugh, do what you want to. Stick your nose where the wild rose grows. Outdoor Wisconsin. Outdoor Wisconsin.